Good evening, everybody. I'm going to call the June 9th council meeting to order. It's 7 o'clock. If everybody could please stand for the invocation by Peter Moore of the Church of Hope.
We come to ask you tonight for a productive meeting. Pray for the residents, city council, mayor, police, fire. Keep your angels around them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Are you standing for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Clerk, can you call the roll?
Certainly. Councilpersons Bear?
Here.
Dupre? Here. Nichols?
Here.
Ross? Here. Salcido?
Here.
Zor?
Here.
And Mayor Tobin.
Here.
Thank you.
I'm going to start out with some remarks. First, I'd like to start with some recognitions. I'm going to ask some gentlemen to come up here to the front. If I can have Keegan Sheldon, Rick Cerwanka, Steve King, Chris Ramone, and Federico Rodriguez come up front. I was right. I'm going to tell you a little bit about these gentlemen.
Come on stage.
I stand here and face the audience. Oh, please. Everything you do, and this is intimidating? I don't think so. So these gentlemen are DPS workers, and they do outstanding work for us. And last Sunday, well, all weekend actually, they were out doing water main breaks, out in the field working hard, and they saw a Facebook post. And I had commented on the post to please call the police station and report. This gentleman did not have water for 3 days. He didn't call and reported it. They saw the post. And after they finished, I don't know, what was it, your third water main break that weekend? They actually took it upon themselves to go out and fix this man's water and made sure that he got his water back. So in honor of that, I would like to recognize these gentlemen for their work.
Nice job.
This is a distinguished service award, and this goes to every one of these gentlemen right here. And I personally want to thank you for your dedication, your loyalty, and the work you do for this city, because without you, we'd be in a whole deep mess of trouble. And Chris, under your supervision, these gentlemen work hard, and you do so much. And John Kazoo, thank you for always taking these guys and making sure they get the work done. So thank you so much, gentlemen, from the City Council, from myself. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
You guys do rock. We appreciate you.
Gentlemen, come this way so we can shake your
Come over
hand.
here, handshake time.
We have to shake all of our hands.
Start at one end and just work your way around.
I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. We do appreciate you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for being such a good leader.
I'll see you again in August. I'm gonna come hang out with the street crews.
Thank you. Thank
Good to see you again. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I'll be hitting you up for that dinner invite, baby. I didn't forget about you.
Is Trent here? Did Trent make it tonight?
Nope.
No. Okay, I have a proclamation for Trent from Hutch Paving, but we'll get him when he does get here. Excuse me. So, a couple other things. I attended the first concert series on Thursday, Infinity and Beyond. They're the Black Box winners 2 years in a row. They put on a fabulous show. We were lucky enough that the weather held off. Councilman Nichols was in attendance. I want to thank our event coordinator, Stephanie, for her hard work. The first concert was a very good success. It was a pretty busy week here at City Hall. We had 4 weddings. I want to congratulate all the newlyweds and wish them the best as they start their new married life. I attended the Southgate Heritage Days this weekend as Mayor Crisp's guest. It was a wonderful weekend. Saturday was the taste of the town, and it was amazing. There were vendors from all over downriver. There was every kind of food imaginable to taste. The highlight of Saturday afternoon was our own Ed Zelnick with his band Little Davy and the Diplomats entertaining the crowd. And they also, on Saturday, the Lincoln Park Animal Shelter had an adoption event at ACO. They met the cutest little puppy. He was adorable, but my husband adamantly said no, so I didn't get to take him home. Then after that, it was on to the Downriver Comic Con and Collectible Show at the high school, where it was a pleasure to see Bill Morrison, our revered Lincoln Parker, the artist from The Simpsons. He always puts a smile on my face. Then I finished the afternoon off with a visit to the fundraiser at the Lincoln Park Eagles. The event was fabulous. It was wall-to-wall people. Not only did they reach their goal, they exceeded it. So the Eagles has enough to pay off their debt to keep their club going.
Yay.
So everybody came out and supported them. So I have to say, we are truly the best city downriver because we support each other immensely, and I'm just so proud of everybody that came out and supported them. I want everybody to know that I was at McCaffrey's Thursday. McCaffrey's has a great special all day on Thursday. You're going to want to go out there. They have $2 smash burgers, $2, and they are wonderful. So head on out there and give them a try. And with that, we'll get the meeting started. I'm going to move on to the consent agenda. Let me get there. Resolved that the following items listed under the consent agenda be approved as presented to the mayor and city council. A, approve the minutes of the regular meeting, May 27th, 2025. Approve accounts and claims payable. Approve block party 1400 block of Chandler. Solicit bids, CO smoke detectors. Solicit bid thermal imaging cameras. Participation residential rehab loan. Schedule public hearing proposed fiscal year budget 2025-26 CDBG budget.
I'll move.
Support.
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes. This will work. Okay, it's not going to work.
Try it again. There you go.
Okay, now we're going to move on to adopting the 25-26 fiscal year budget.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So tonight we are looking to adopt the 25-26 budget. The outlined resolution does make all of the recommendations based on the recommended budget that was presented to Council with some minor changes. The district court has since submitted their full budget. They do have an increased staffing in there, which will ultimately bring in more revenue in time, but that will take a little bit of time, as well as wage increases at their department. We have also recently learned that our phone system will become obsolete come January. Hopefully it'll give us a little bit more time, but right now we're estimating the cost somewhere between $75,000 to $100,000. I increased it by $75,000, just because there's usually a delay in the annual payments on that. So we will make an adjustment at the mid-year point if it does come in higher and we need to. The updated estimated use of fund balance is now up to $959,875. And again, this is if all expenditures are expended. It's very, very worrisome for us. However, I don't anticipate we'll use all of the $959,000, but we do have to proceed with that anticipated use. Hopefully we don't. We generally don't expend all of our expenditures for the year, but we do need to go into the new fiscal year much more cautiously than we've had to. And again, that's because of the millage rollback that we did not foresee coming at us for almost a full mill this year. So hopefully next year we will not be facing the same type of adjustment. Otherwise, we will have to look at some serious adjustments to the budget. So with that, I am looking to adopt the fiscal year 25-26 budget. And then one more item I did want to touch on, it does have the proposed rates that we talked about at the study session as well for water and sewer.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Lincoln Park that the Section 1, for the expenditures of the city government and its activities for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026, that the amounts of the following sections are hereby appropriated.
Move.
Support.
Any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. If I could, through the chair.
Yes.
Can we please ask the district court to give us their budget earlier, like all the other departments do, so that I know that we approve it as a lump sum, but I would love to see it as a supplement to our budget. Otherwise, nobody knows what they're spending money on.
Right,
So-
and it does make it hard with the timing of us preparing the budget. It comes in so much later.
Right.
I do want to say, though, that while there was an increase, they again traditionally have not spent all of their funds, so I don't really foresee needing that full 200,000 from them, but we do plan for it just in case.
So do we have to do that by resolution or just a request?
I believe they'd be open to a request.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think we need to do a resolution unless unless there's a refusal to do so, but I don't really foresee that.
Thank you. I think that'll help us out too in the future. Thank you.
To the chair.
Yes.
If we adopt this resolution and it passes, are we allowed, if we find something that would help the funding, is that applied without having to reconvene or anything?
So the only time council needs to do another resolution to make an amendment to the budget is if it significantly increases the overall budget for within a department. Depends on whether it's a fund or the general fund. If it's general fund, it's a little bit more cumbersome because there's so many different departments within there. If it's, say, like the sanitation fund or the water and sewer fund, you're adopting by fund. So only if it changes the overall fund totals.
Okay.
We don't have the authority to do that on our own.
Thank you for being clear on that.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Nichols?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Soar?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes. Next, we're going to move on to amend fees, animal shelter. Chief Ladis.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before we get started on there, I have one amendment to the addendum here. Inadvertently, we did not add a legacy cat, so that fee will be $200. This is regarding amendment to the user fee schedule of the animal shelter. Lincoln Park Animal Shelter staff are requesting that mayor and council to approve an amendment to the user fee schedule to allow for an increase in costs associated with owner pickups and adoptions. The addendum shows the previous prices compared to the requested fee increases. The animal shelter operates under the police department and has not updated the cost since opening the new shelter in 2024. The animal shelter staff has found that they are more successful in relocating kennel dogs and cats if they are vaccinated and spayed or neutered. Furthermore, the staff has found that there's a larger demand for certain breeds of dogs and cats over other breeds. The staff wishes to increase the adoption prices for the animals to match the demand for the specific breeds and size of animals to cover the cost of the vaccination and spay and neutering. Budget impact, there is no negative impact to the budget. And it's recommended that mayor and council adopt this resolution.
Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council do hereby adopt the following amended user fees related to the operation of the Lincoln Park Animal Shelter. Pickup owner first time, $30. Pickup owner additional time, $25 increments, plus daily lodging fee of $10. Owner surrender Lincoln Park resident, $200. Quarantine fee, $300. Adoption fee, sterilized, $100 golden dogs, 150 TLC dogs, 180 adoption dogs, 250 littles, 350 puppies, $400 legacy dogs, $50 Golden Cats, $50 TLC Cats, $100 Adoption Cats, $150 Kittens. Adoption fee non-sterilized not apply. Sterilization refunds not apply. Euthanasia residents 100. Euthanasian fees non-residents $75.
Mayor, I believe that's 175, I'm sorry. Non-resident.
Non-residents, 175.
Non-residents 175. Residents. Euthanasian fee residents 100. Euthanasian fees non-residents 175.
I'll move.
Support.
Any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
If I could. Chief wanted to add $200
The legacy cat.
for,
For the
okay.
legacy cat, yes, ma'am.
And then I just want to clarify that the adoption fee, I know it says on the resolution, we've got sterilized on there, right? But we want to make sure that that's vaccinated also, right?
Yes, what the girls have been doing down at the shelter, obviously, they do a fabulous job fundraising and stuff. The money that they're making doing these fundraising, they've been putting back into animals, vaccinating them and spaying and neutering them.
Okay.
And there's more demand for that, and they'd like to continue this
Well, I think those are,
process.
yeah, those are really good prices considering that they're going to be sterilized and vaccinated. So if the amendment, or I'm sorry, if the resolution could just have the amendment to include and vaccinated after sterilized.
Is that okay with the supporter?
Yes.
She was the mover, so I'm assuming it was okay with you.
Yep.
Okay.
Through the chair. The puppies, all 350, they're not broken down into breeds as if they were, and as they get older, the
I
popular
don't have
breeds
my expert subject matter people here right now, but I think just puppies, there's a more demand.
Any breed, okay.
Anyone else?
Can I just say something, Mayor? I just want to thank Chief Lavis and Kennedy. She did a lot of homework on these, so there was a lot of research with other communities as to what they charge, just to make sure we were comparable. They put a lot of work into this, so thank you to all of them.
Yes, this is based on comparables by all the departments. And obviously, we're the top shelter in this area.
Yes,
So-
and it is running with the other shelters that
Yes.
I've dealt with, yeah.
Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Ross,
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on, we're going to go to the proposed ordinance zoning. Andy, thank you.
Go ahead.
You want- I can read.
You want Andy to
Where-
say something, or I'll read the resolution? It doesn't matter.
I can do it.
Okay.
Whereas the owner's representatives of the property known as 3360 Dix Highway, currently zoned Neighborhood Business District, pursue a building expansion to accommodate an updated automatic style car wash, and whereas in accordance with Chapter 1262 of the Lincoln Park Zoning Code, the owner's representatives submitted a rezoning application to amend the zoning map's classification the property from Neighborhood Business District, NBD, to Municipal Business District, MBD, to accommodate this expansion. And whereas the Lincoln Park Planning Commission held a duly noted public hearing to consider amending the zoning map's classification of the property from Neighborhood Business District to Municipal Business District at its May 14, 2025 regular meeting, and whereas the Lincoln Park Planning Commission moved to recommend City Council adopt the amendment to the zoning map's classification of the property from neighborhood business to municipal business with a 6-2 vote at its May 14th, 2025 regular meeting. Now therefore be it resolved that an ordinance to amend the official zoning map, Chapter 1266.02 of the City of Lincoln Park with respect to the rezoning of the property from Neighborhood Business District to Municipal Business District be given its first and second reading. The City of Lincoln Park ordains that the zoning ordinance for the City of Lincoln Park, specifically the zoning map of the city with respect to zoning classification of the property known as parcel number 45-015-03-0294-001, commonly known as 3360 Dix Highway, shall be rezoned from Neighborhood NBD Neighborhood Business District to MBD Municipal District.
I'll move for discussion.
I'll support.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. One thing that this resolution doesn't clarify is that this is a non-conforming use. So I just want, for the record, to read to you what our ordinance 1292.03, non-conforming uses of structures, reads. Under A, it says, "No existing structure devoted to a use not permitted by this zoning code in the district in which it is located shall be enlarged, extended, constructed, reconstructed, moved, or structurally altered, except in changing the use of the structure to a use permitted in the district in which it is located." So it is in the neighborhood business district, and therefore it cannot, the use, by our ordinance, we should not allow the expansion.
Through the chair, I don't believe this is an expansion. It's a change. It's a upgrade. There's no room for expansion.
It is an expansion. It said it, the resolution reads, "Pursue a building expansion."
Well, the way it was described by us, if I remember, Andy, it was not to be expanded, correct?
If I may elaborate, I'm Andy, planning consultant. This is a rezoning, so we're not talking about non-conforming uses right now. The rezoning would make it a conforming use per the district, and that is an applicant has the legal right to apply for the rezoning per Michigan law. And so we wouldn't be talking about non-conforming if this rezoning is passed. It would be a compliant, conforming use of the district after special land use approval by the Planning Commission, actually. Right now, the use is non-conforming, so it's non-conforming because it's zoned NBD. However, neighborhood business district. However, if it's rezoned to municipal business district, the use will be conforming by special land use. So the applicant right now is restricted from expanding because the property is zoned NBD, neighborhood business district. That's his whole reason for applying, is to get the right to expand. And Mr. Woodson's in the crowd here. I ask you to maybe ask any questions that are super technical for his plans. His plan, as I've spoken to him, encompasses about a 12-foot expansion of width to accommodate an automatic car wash rather than a do-it-yourself self-serve car wash. And the bays, so there's 4 bays right now. Those layouts will be kind of reoriented, or maybe 1 or 2 might even be reduced to maybe just 2 wider and longer bays.
I've gone past there quite a few times and looking where he wants to put the automatic one, the footprint's going to be much larger. And when I was at the Planning Commission meeting, the residents that spoke talked about the noise that's going to be increased, and he's located between Dick's Blocks and River Recycling, and the noise that the neighbors have to deal with there, and the imprint from the traffic that's going to be coming in and out. And I know that there was no traffic study done there to see what increase this will bring into the neighborhoods. And that's my concern, is the volume and what the neighborhoods are already dealing with there, and what the increase of the new expansion of this automated thing is going to do to the neighborhood. So that's where I have a concern, and that's what I just want to state on this. So, does anybody else have anything to say?
Through the chair, Your Honor, is there going to be like a sound barrier wall on by the alley side there, where the residents maybe they would reduce the sound?
So per the site plan review process that Mr. Woodson, the applicant, would need to go through if you do pass this rezoning, he'd be required to put a screening wall up, or landscaping, or both, depending on, I don't have it memorized in my head right now, but zoning ordinance standards say so.
Thought they said, to the chair, I thought in the planning commission meeting that they said they could just put a screen over the fence. I didn't hear anything on the wall, so please verify that if that is the case.
I believe the screening would need to be a wall. Planning commission can waive a screening wall, if they deem that there is no, feasible, possibility to build such wall. But I think it'd probably be pretty important because it's, there'd be more traffic.
Mayor, may I direct a couple of questions just to clarify for council? If this were approved as recommended, this doesn't guarantee the businesses going in with the changes, is that correct?
Correct, so,
Site plan approval, if it's a screening wall, they have to do that. They have to resolve the issues of underground flow of water and sewerage.
I could imagine so.
And the noise complaints and any other conditions that might be applied by the planning commission. So his plan or his wish plan of what the applicant wants to build there today is not generally what would be a final product. All council is faced with today is not what is going in there, what it's going to look like, sound like, or smell like, but to rezone that parcel to allow this type of use. And in fact, the footprint could shrink based upon what the plan commission comes back. He's still got a lot of variances to request.
It could, the applicant's.
This doesn't guarantee he's going in as he presented here.
Correct.
I think it's important that council knows this is just a mere matter of rezoning. Were it a variance, you'd be perfectly right to say no. But this change in the zoning laws in 2011 allowed this new, it used to be spot zoning, but they have a technical term now. What do they call it?
Spot zoning was a term that was used a lot in earlier times. It was often used as a term to say no to things. Usually now, the biggest thing is the approval bodies, planning commission, and city council need to follow the master plan and what the master plan has laid out in the future land use map and text about what you'd like to see on your commercial. This is called general commercial in the master plan, what you'd like to see in your general commercial future land use designations.
So whatever his wish list is for what the business would appear, speaking of his as the applicant, is not where it's necessarily going to end up tonight. And in fact, it may never ever meet approval, even if it's rezoned, because it may not fit into what the city's designs are. For the
Correct.
property. I think it's important council know that this is just a pure rezoning, and you've got to decide if it's in conformance with the dictates or the plans of the city's master plan if you vote to change the zoning. But I was looking for some help, Andy, because I forgot the term. There's a new term under the Zoning and Planning Enabling Act of 2011, what they call this type of approach. And you mentioned it when you started out. What is he actually seeking?
It's a rezoning.
Okay.
Yep.
But there's another term. It's
Map amendment.
map amendments,
Yep.
right? So
Those are kind of used
I'll figure
interchangeably.
it out by the next
Yep.
meeting. So this is not, you can still redirect. If you have those questions, you'll have an opportunity to say yes or no. And this is no guarantee his project is going to go forward. Council will have the ultimate say on that also.
To the chair, if I may, just one more comment.
Yes, sir.
My feeling is that Giffords and Webster does not look out for the interest of the city or the citizens. And what keeps happening is that we're changing zoning ordinances or the zone mapping to look out for the business. And then what happens is the businesses are not conforming to the zoning, even after they've had a change. And here we are a year or 2 years later, and some of our businesses still haven't conformed after you've changed from a MBD to a NBD or vice versa. So on this vote, I listened to the citizens at the planning commission, and the way forward, to me, we keep changing for a business. We keep moving because the businesses want to change, but not because the citizens want to change. That's just my feeling. That's just my personal feeling.
Anyone else?
Through the chair, Your Honor, if I could. I can't help but feel that this project then is still very vague. If nothing is truly set in stone, we know that he has to adhere to the new state standards for code, not just for the state, for the county, which may require the underground stormwater retention, because I know there's several businesses that have had to do that. And I just don't want to start a project and not see it, that it not, I don't know. I feel like we are putting the cart before the horse here, because the project is vague. I was at that planning commission meeting also, and his application actually states that he wants one stall to be converted, but the plans show 2. So I would just like all the information and know that all the requirements, code requirements will be met.
Anyone else? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Ross,
No.
Nichols,
Yes.
Bear,
No.
Dupre,
No.
Salcido,
Yes.
Zor,
No.
Mayor Tobin.
No.
That motion fails.
Moving on. This would be you, Carrie.
Okay, so I'm bringing another ordinance amendment before you today regarding sidewalk sales for commercial businesses. And what I'm asking you to change is the number, add a section that covers a specific number of sales that each commercial business can have per year. Right now, there is no limit, which means that effectively, if they wanted to pay $15 every 5 days, they could have an outdoor sidewalk sale all year long. I think this keeps us from having open-air businesses in districts that are not zoned properly for open-air businesses, because it is only allowed in specific zoning areas. I think this prohibits them from skirting those zoning classifications. It's something that has always kind of bothered me about this ordinance, that there was no limit on the number. We limit the number of residential yard sales that can occur. Capping this one at 4 permits per location is equivalent to what we have actually ended up allowing the residents with the 2 citywide sales and their 2 by ordinance to 4. And then the other thing that I asked you to do was to amend the section on the fees to say that they're set from time to time by council, instead of having a specific amount number in the ordinance that's a little misleading when people go back later on after you guys have changed fee schedules. Okay, it's something that we've been trying to do with any ordinance that we bring forward, is to take the specific fees out of them and have them set from time to time by council, so that it's a little clearer when people look at the ordinances. So, resolved that an ordinance to amend the codified ordinances of the City of Lincoln Park by amending the existing section .04 and adding section .05C of chapter 872 entitled Sidewalk Sales be given its first and second reading. The City of Lincoln Park ordains that section .04 and 05 of chapter 872 entitled Sidewalk Sales of the codified ordinances of the City of Lincoln Park be amended by amending section .04 and adding section .05C, which shall read as follows. 872.04 license fee. An applicant shall pay a fee which shall be prescribed from time to time by council resolution to the city clerk at the time of filing a license application. 872.05 license issuance expiration. We're adding section C, which reads, the clerk shall not issue more than 4 permits per location each calendar year for any sale described in this chapter.
Move. Support.
Discussion?
Through the chair, Your Honor. I mean, is there a particular business that's violating this rule right now? I mean, I go drive through the city, I may see a couple of mannequins out front or maybe a clothes thing, but is that a big issue?
We
complaints?
have a business that found this little loophole and is
Gotcha.
talking about the possibility of doing that, which is what precipitated this.
And someone's going to monitor whether someone gets a permit or not. Who's going to monitor that?
That should be enforced by the code enforcement officers and they can always call my office to ask if there has been a sidewalk sale permit issued.
Thank you, City Clerk.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Nichols?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Salcido?
No.
Zor?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes. Okay, moving on. We're going to go to Lisa with Wade bid purchase trackers.
Thank you, Mayor. It is now industry standard for fleet vehicles to be equipped with GPS trackers, as well as many have cameras on them. We do currently have some trackers on our vehicles. We have run into some issues throughout time, but they've been on there several years and they are quite outdated. So late last year, DPS staff did start doing some looking into replacement trackers for us. So we've been working on looking at different options. Currently, what we're looking at would be GPS trackers on each of the non-public safety vehicles for the city, and these would also have cameras mounted on the outside. So, as you know, this will help us with not only insurance claims if there were to be an unfortunate event of a city vehicle in an accident, but also it helps us with monitoring street sweeping, snow plowing, those types of issues. So we are currently looking at using Samsura, who's under the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program, which is very similar to the MyDale program. And the current trackers that we have cost about $12,000 per year. So this would be an increase of just over $8,000. The funds have been budgeted in the upcoming fiscal year, and the annual cost again is $20,391. That does include the licensing and full installation.
Resolved that the mayor and city council waive the bidding process and utilize Sourcewell, a cooperative program, to purchase Samsura trackers and forward-facing cameras for all non-emergency vehicles. Be it further resolved that the mayor and city clerk are authorized to execute this agreement.
Move.
Support.
Discussion?
Through the chair, quick question. How long did the last ones, the current GPS trackers last? If they're not becoming,
Some are still operational. We've just ran into some hiccups, which, as far as how they're plugged into the device, these ones cannot be. There's no chance of them falling out. There's no chance of them draining batteries. They're much more reliable trackers.
the new ones?
Yes,
Okay.
they plug into a different port in the vehicle, so we won't face any of the technical issues we've ran into. I think the other ones were put on, I want to say Matt Koppler was still here, so I want to say like 2015 or 16.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. So they're
I was just
they're pretty
curious.
old now.
Okay, thank you.
To the chair, do we get so on our lease vehicles, do we get money back for having those on our lease vehicles?
I don't believe so. We can check into that. I haven't heard of that.
So are they interchangeable on our lease vehicles?
Yes.
But we have to pay to have them changed out,
Nope,
correct?
the annual cost includes installation. They would just simply unplug it from one, plug it into the new vehicle.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Nichols?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes. Resolved that Tom Carnes be and is hereby appointed to the Public Safety Commission to fill the unexpired term of Thomas Mandernack, term to expire on January 1st, 2029.
I'll move.
Support.
Discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Nichols?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes.
I'll do it tomorrow. I don't have the, I don't.
Congratulations, Mr. Carnes. Thank you for volunteering. Resolved that the recurring special event be approved for Johnny on the Spot Cruise and Customer Appreciation event to be held in the city of Lincoln Park on Saturday, June 28, 2025, starting at 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 3663 Fort Street under the following condition. Applicant shall be responsible for cleanup of all debris associated with the event from the surrounding properties. Alcohol not permitted. Parking restrictions will be enforced in the surrounding area.
I'll move.
Support.
Discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Nichols?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin.
Yes. Okay, moving on to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm actually just going to do just a finance report tonight for the most part. I will start off by just adding one little tidbit that City Hall will be closed on Thursday, I believe it is, June 19th, in observance of Juneteenth this year. So this will be the first year city offices are closed. So as far as the current year budget goes, the fiscal year is nearly complete. We will end the year June 30th. But with that said, we do pay expenses for the next several months after that, prior to the audit starting. So there's many outstanding items right now. It's really a little bit early to project exactly where we'll end up. Right now, we are trending pretty well for the current year. We're at 93% of the budget for expenses. 90%, and revenues are coming in at 93%. So we are pretty close to target. Again, there's a lot of year-end entries that have to be posted. Some revenues do come in after year-end, so it is still fairly early. We are projecting a contribution the current year to fund balance of just over $100,000, about $109,000. So hopefully we do hit that target. Any money that we contribute to fund balance this year will help offset any potential use of fund balance going into the new fiscal year. So, if revenues come in as expected, which those are usually pretty well aligned, it's really going to be a matter of the expenditures as we close out the fiscal year. And then with the water and sewer budget, it's a very vital fund for the city. As you know, we talk about it a lot more than we probably used to. We continue to face the challenges with main breaks and failing infrastructure as far as our sewers go. We're also under the deficit reduction plan with the state of Michigan, so we do have to file a report with them annually just to show that we're being fiscally responsible and that we are living up to our word of what we basically promised to do the previous year to end that deficit. So we're doing a pretty good job in the water and sewer fund overall, but again, it's early. We have a lot of expenses. There's a lot of grant funding that goes through the water and sewer fund now, a lot of payments related to those grants. So keeping all of that aligned is sometimes tricky because there's just so much activity that goes through there. Unfortunately, we do have to adjust the rates. Generally, every year, as long as I've been here, I believe we've adjusted the rates. There may have been 1 or 2 years we didn't have to. But with that, we did have that deficit reduction plan. We did, right then, we committed to raising the rates by at least 10%. And unfortunately, we had to go higher than that this year. Currently, the fund is trending on budget, but again, it's very early. So until the end of August, we'll have a better idea of where we'll end up there. But cash management is very important in the water and sewer fund. As you know, we've talked year after year about shutoffs during the summer, and a big reason that we do that is because we have to get cash coming into the system. We're paying up for all of the sewage and the water to GLEWA. We have to pay for it up front, and then we're billing it back to the customers. So the sooner we can get the cash in, we're not trying to be, we try to work with the residents as much as we can, but it is important for us to get that cash in. For example, this year we are about 3 districts into the shutoff process, and we've mailed out notices for over $331,000 in past due. So we still have another 3 districts to go through for the big amounts, and then we'll follow up with those that maybe didn't keep their payment plans. The general majority of people, once they get those notices, do come in and work out a payment arrangement. But again, as we do struggle in the water and sewer fund, we do need to make sure that we're getting cash into the fund to meet our obligations as well. And then this year will be the first year that the city has to submit a certification of compliance with the state of Michigan for the pension grant. As you recall, a couple years ago, we received the large pension grant for both municipal and the police and fire funds. So now it's coming time where we have to start to report to the state to make sure that we're in compliance with that. So that means items like not giving increases in pension benefits and making sure that we're making our annual contribution on time. We're all good with all of those items, so we just have to file the report. And then as we get closer to the end of the fiscal year, staff will start working on some pre-audit work, and the annual audit begins in late September to early October. So a lot of prep goes into that. Everybody works really hard on that. And then the finance department does have a few projects coming up. As you saw, I don't believe I mentioned it, but in the budget resolution cover letter, I mentioned the phone system for the city, so that's going to be obsolete come January. Actually, I did mention that, but so we're going to start working on the RFPs for that, as well as working with our IT company to work on staff computers that are aging out. So those are a couple of the big ticket items in finance that we'll be working on. That is all I have. If anyone has any questions.
Through the chair, Your Honor, I'll just make it real quick. Anything on Sears Development, Dixon, Southfield Road? What do you
They
got?
finally have the approval. So believe that paperwork was all sent over, so they should be breaking ground here shortly.
Very well, thank you.
To the chair, are they going to be coming back to us to tell us what the final plans are?
Not unless something changed. Only as items change, because everything's already been submitted. They were ready to go, building permits and just waiting for the county permits and Eagle permits.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Well, with that, we will move on to citizen communications. Is there anyone who would like to address this body? Good evening, Monique.
Good evening, Mayor Tobin, City Council members, and members of the public. For those who I have not yet had the opportunity to meet, my name is Monique Guerrero Woods. I serve as the Director of the Community Planning Development here at Lincoln Park. It appears the last few meetings have included thoughtful and passionate input from the community members. I want to thank everyone who has taken the time to share their perspectives and their concerns. Too often, we hear quiet discontent following council updates, but when the call for public comment is made, the room falls silent. Tonight, I want to acknowledge and appreciate those who have chosen to speak up. Your voices matter, and they help shape how we respond, adapt, and move forward. On behalf of the city, the Community Planning and Development Department, I would like to speak directly to a comment that was made in a previous meeting, in which individuals present in our county, present in our county parks refer to people in our county parks, refer to them as not very good people. I believe this was in reference to individuals who have been facing housing instability and or substance use challenges. I want to take this opportunity to uplift a more informed and compassionate lens, one rooted in a framework of social determinants of health. The framework recognizes that health and well-being are shaped by a broad range of social, economic, and environmental factors, such as access to housing, education and employment, healthcare, and social support. Life circumstances are not always a reflection of somebody's character, but often a result of complex and interconnected barriers. As a community who begins our meetings in prayer, I'd like to invite us to extend the same spirit in opening words to hold space for healing, empathy, and grace. Let us pray for those who are struggling and work towards solutions that affirm dignity and support. Our department will be actively engaging with community partners to explore ways we can better connect to those in need with resources, services, and supports to help them improve their quality of life in public spaces and remain safe and welcoming for all. Thank you for the opportunity to speak and your continued commitment to building a healthier, more vibrant community. I'd like to mention that myself and the Parks and Recreation member have been in discussion regarding a previously held Council Point Park powwow. For those who are unaware, this is a culturally significant Indigenous gathering full of dancing, vendors, and food. As a descendant of the Swan Creek and Black River Band of Chippewa Indians, I was very pleased to hear that this event has taken place historically, and I'd be very much open to, if anybody has attended that meeting before, please do share with me your experiences of that, as that would be significant for future planning efforts. And then lastly, I just wanted to mention, for those who may not be aware, Juneteenth is a celebration that was commemorated officially in 2021 as a federal holiday to recognize the end of slavery. Folks in African Americans, in Texas were informed that slavery had ended a century and a half after it was supposed to be ended and unequivocally enforced. Thank you.
Maybe.
Man, you want to come after that. Pastor Peter Morris, City Hope Church, where we fellowship inside our Park Plaza community room. That's across the street from BC's Pizza, if you guys didn't know that. We are having a senior luncheon on the 21st of this month at 12 o'clock. Senior lunch, and it's free. You ain't got to pay nothing. If you have your seniors, know somebody who wants to eat, if you want something to eat, you can come get you something. So we'll be there at 12 o'clock, Saturday the 21st. Come get you some food. And if you know, you can go to our website, cityofhopelp.org, and you can look in there. There's a number in there. If you can't make it, we can come drop it off to you. So you know some people that can't make it, we'll drop it off to you. So it's inside the community room, inside Park Plaza. That's where we worship, and that's where we'll be feeding on that day. All right.
Pastor, can we have the address?
1201 4th Street,
Thank you.
across from BC's Pizza.
Thank you, Pastor.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and public. I have an issue about the
Need
fireworks.
to state your name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Denise Droulard. And I have an issue about the fireworks. From what I read, that you can set them off on your property, but those fireworks don't end coming back down on your property. I have approximately maybe 12 burn marks on my brick of my home throughout the years. Actually, I even have one it was so powerful from the back street behind me that chipped off part of the chimney on my home. Now, there's no guarantee that those fireworks, when you set them off in your yard, are coming back down on the yard. They certainly are not. They're going 6 houses down, landing on their roofs, or they're going shooting over to someone's houses, hitting their bricks, leaving tar, burnt marks. And it's a safety issue. You could be sitting out in your yard with friends and family. You're not shooting off fireworks, and here comes one from the other street or from down the street that they're lighting them off in the street or on the sidewalk or maybe from their yards. Yards are maybe as big as this room. We're not on 5 acres. So Lincoln Park is allowing that, and I think it should be stopped. And something just to put out there for you guys, for all of you to, consider. These are not landing back on your property. And there was a serious issue at the car wash at Dick's and Outer Drive, where it was one of those 19, it shoots off 19, when you light it, 19 fireworks go off. Well, it stopped. And the young lady that was working at the car wash, this was after car wash hours, she went up to relight it, and it went to her head, blew off her skull, and she left 3 babies behind and a husband. And that was several years ago, and that could be looked up. That was at the car wash. There's a new car wash there, so there might have been some financial things going on there, with lawsuits or whatever. But there's a new car wash now. But that happened on their property. They were shooting off. So there are a lot of safety hazards for the neighbors behind you, in front of you, and there's no guarantee. They're going to come right back down here. We're going to shoot it off here. I can guarantee you $1,000 it's going to come right back down here. No, it's not happening. So it's just something for you guys to consider, if you would consider something like that. That should be stopped. If you got maybe those little sprinkle things, the little sparklers, maybe that's different for the children on your property, but shooting off fireworks, bottle rockets, and so on and so forth, it's a fire hazard. It's a hazard to our homes and properties. And most renters don't care about homeowners' homes that do own their home and try to keep up their homes. So this is my issue. So just putting it out there for everybody to consider. And it's up to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to address us? We'll move on to comments of the council. Council President?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have really much. I'm just going to say it was a great meeting today, good debate, good discussion, good crowd today. And we have this conversation every year about the fireworks, and I don't know how it can be monitored. So I have a small dog that just runs to the basement every time he hears it. So I know what you're going through, but that's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Lillian?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll start with my ZBA report. No meeting because there was no agenda items for May. And then this weekend is the yard sale weekend, so happy yard selling. I would just please ask that you be respectful of other people's driveways, their approaches. Household hazardous waste, Wayne County's household hazardous waste collection is June the 28th at the Henry Ford College in Dearborn from 8 to 1. And that's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Stacy?
Well, I hope everyone's enjoying the weather, getting out of the house, doing things around the city. Please visit our animal shelter to see the adoptable animals because there's a lot of them and they're so cute. Sundays from 11 to 3, we have our farm market that's open now next to the Park Restaurant in Icarus Hall. They're calling it Mellis Park at this point. I believe that's where the old Mellis building was. Is that correct? Yeah, sorry. We have a lot of events, and I look forward to seeing everybody. I believe it's the 17th for the music from council, mayor and council. And that'll be on Tuesday nights at 7 at the band shell. Looking forward to seeing everybody. As always, we need to thank the police, the fire, the EMS, the DPS. They keep us going, keep us safe. Thanks, guys and gals. We appreciate you more than you know. A lot of graduation parties and ceremonies are out there, you guys. Please be responsible and drive safely. And with that, I'll say good night and God bless.
Hi. Yes, we had a library commission meeting last week. They reported on a successful book sale that they had, and they have their summer reading program about to start up. The theme is Color Our World, focusing on art and art appreciation. Registration starts June 16th, and the program starts on June 23rd at the Lincoln Park Library. And I believe 2 weekends ago now, I did have the pleasure of attending the Lincoln Park Fire Department 100-year anniversary celebration. It was quite an honor to be able to attend that for me. Chief Prince did just an amazing job of bestowing what an important role the fire department has played for 100 years of our existence and what they will mean going forward. Our own Mayor Tobin spoke very eloquently about what they mean to herself personally, to the city, and she did represent us here on council very, very well. It was a very nice event for everyone to come together. And that's all of my official city business, but as when Monique pointed out that we do have Juneteenth coming up and what that means, I would also like to bring up that in the month of June is Pride Month, and for some people that might not realize it, Pride came to be because of an event called the Stonewall riots in June of 1969 in New York, where gay clubs had faced years of harassment and police raids. And on one very fateful night, a group of people from the LGBTQ plus community and others that may have just been in that bar, they stood up for themselves and said enough was enough, and they took a stand for their own equality. There were casualties that night. People did die, and the action of those people sparked the movement worldwide. And it exists to this very day, and their mission is pretty simple. Everyone should be able to live their true and authentic self without fear of harassment, discrimination, or harm. And I wanted to end with a quote from Harvey Milk. He was one of the first openly gay elected officials in the United States, and he once said, "Hope will never be silent." So, happy Pride, everyone. There's a lot of events going on. Motor City Pride was this past weekend, and Downriver Pride Fest in Wyandotte is coming up in a couple weekends. So, that's all I have. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Eric?
Yes, first I'd like to say that I also attended the fire department's 100-year anniversary. I want to thank Commissioner Kara Clementi for her proclamation to the fire department and the chief. Very nicely done. I'd also like to say congratulations to the officers that received awards. Officer Anderson, Certificate of Merit for chasing down an armed suspect. Officer Sampson upgraded to Detective Sergeant on his promotion. Officers Nessa and Wilson for life-saving event. And Officer Catula is Officer of the Month. I'd also like to, I met the girls at the animal shelter today, and they are having a garage sale this weekend. Friday from 8 to 4 p.m., Saturday from 11 to 1. Animal supplies anytime, and anything that you can donate would be greatly appreciated with them. The Lincoln Park Police Department is also doing a safety day at McDonald's at 1462 4th Street. The Chetwalla family. It'll be in the back of the parking lot. It's from 1 to 3. They will be auctioning off 8 bikes. There will also be some other things that they'll be doing. That'll be a really good project. And then there will be an ice cream social Tuesday, June 24th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Myers, 3710 Dix Highway. And it'll be in the back of Myers. They're going to have an outdoor event where everybody can go to Myers in the back, and there'll be ice cream and everything. Myers is donating a lot of the proceeds for this one, so this should be a really good event. I also attended Lincoln Park High School graduation and some of the other school graduations. I want to thank our school system. They do a great job. We saw a strong start with a solid enrollment to the start of the year. Still one of only 3 school districts in all of Wayne County with steady or increasing enrollment. Our varsity football team came incredibly close to qualifying for the first playoffs for the first time in 9 years. Our varsity boys basketball team were league and district champions. Our middle school soccer team went undefeated, second year in a row, and are now 29-1 in the last 3 years. High school drama, theater club, numerous students win awards, and the quality of their productions continues to grow. I went to 2 of them this year. Our DECA program won numerous awards and continues to be exemplary and one of the best in the region. Our high school robotics team, the Railbots, qualified for states. We started a boys volleyball and girls flag football team at the high school for the first time. We are projected to have the largest 6th grade band in the middle school history. The entire band program continues to grow in numbers and quality. District-wide, Lincoln Park is projected to have an increase in performance on the state standardized test called MSTEP. They've demonstrated an increase in middle school sports participation. As a result, we added an additional coach for the middle school sideline and competitive cheer, track, and we added a 7th grade football team. The middle school experienced an overall decrease in suspensions and incidents when compared year to year. Unified Athletics continues to strengthen this, is a program to provide access for students with disabilities to participate in the athletic program. It's a great time to be a rail splitter. And with that,
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you. Jason?
I don't know how I'm going to compete with that. Thank you, Eric. A lot of times we forget about the school system here. You know, we kind of talk about, and we're one big community. It's not just the schools, and it's just not city council and the mayor. Like, we're all big community. So thank you, Eric. I really appreciate that. That's good news. I know a lot of the band members. You know, the band's growing and exponentially. It's going to be fun to be on the sidelines of the football games, watching 100 kids out there in those bands just doing work. So I'm excited for that. So thank you. So this weekend, Lillian had mentioned that it's the garage sale weekend, but also the community center is hosting a community garage sale, June 13th, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. The 14th is 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's located at 3525 Dix, which is the community center, the ice rink. There'll be books, clothes, toys, household items. So make sure you go check that out on your stroll through the city, because it's going to be, I think it's going to be fun. I actually might show up. I'm not really a yard sale kind of guy, but I think I'm going to pop in and see what's going on. Also, Drag Bingo is on the 20th at 7. Tickets are still on sale, $25 a person. I know they're going pretty quick. I don't know how many are left, but check that out if you're interested. That includes a delicious dinner and 3 games of bingo. Historical Society, June 22nd at 2 p.m., 1335 Southfield, which is the Historical Museum. Curator Jeff Day will lead a talk and slideshow presentation on early development of Lincoln Park from a sleepy rural village to dreams of cityhood. All are invited. There is no charge to attend, but I please implore you, if you're going to go, put a little money in that jar. Museum runs off of a little bit of hope and a lot of donations, so let's keep them going. Parking in the museum parking lot, the painter supply lot, and on the street are available. 2 museum displays are running concurrently throughout the year with the focus on 1925 and early Lincoln Park. So make sure if you can't make the event on the 22nd, you get out to that museum, put some money in that jar, and let's keep these guys going for a long time into the future. Also, coming up in July 19th is the Little League Alumni Game, presented by the LP Little League and the Historical Society. It's a centennial game at Quant Park. It's going to start at noon. Warm-ups are at 10:30, registrations at 11:30. Any and all former players and coaches are invited. Contact lpmuseum@gmail.com if you have any more information. CIC is closing out our registration for the Garden Walk, which is August 9th. We've got one more spot available, so I hope to have that closed out by the end of this week. So August 9th, that starts at the museum. All proceeds go to the museum for that event. So make sure you put that in your calendar. That's August 9th. Other than that, I hope we all enjoy the weather. Let's be safe out there. Remember, we're all on the same planet together. We're all on the same little rock that's spinning around. So let's be nice to each other. We had a great time at Comic-Con. I turned into an artiste and drew all kinds of random characters on hands. The kids seem to love it. The adults loved it more than the kids, though, because I could little cool backstories. So all the proceeds from that Comic-Con do go to the athletic department for the high school and the middle school. So hopefully I'll have a number next meeting. Thank you, guys. Everybody stay safe.
I just want to say, I was very, very touched by attending the 100th anniversary at the fire department. Fire department means a real lot to me. They did a wonderful job, and I met a lot of the retirees that worked with my dad, and they all moved me greatly, and the fire department did an absolute fabulous job. So thank you so much, Chief Prince, for everything that you did. It was done so well. I also was able to attend the graduation at Mixer this year, and it was wonderful. These kids are amazing. If you get the opportunity, please go to the store there, support these kids, support that school. Tuesday, June 17th, like Tracy said, is the first Tuesday Tunes presented to you by the mayor and the council. I think we're all proud of this. We have put this together for you. This is at no cost to you from the city. We have raised all the proceeds, hired all the musicians, done all the work, just to give back to you for all the support you've given to us. So please come out. The first band is Josh Ford, Motor City Josh and the Big Three. It's the funky blues you can't refuse and some rock and roll. You're going to enjoy it. We have Hibachi House food truck, Fun Food Express and Detroit Salsa Company just contacted me, and they would like to attend also. So come on out, get some good food, sit back and relax, enjoy some music. And another thing I would like to announce tonight, seeing it's our 100th year, we will be holding a Centennial Ball on September 20th at the Kennedy Memorial. Tickets will be going on sale in the next 2 weeks or so. It will be a catered dinner with an orchestra playing during dinner, strolling violinist, a band on stage, and some extra special things going on. So watch for the ticket sales to come out. There will be 250 tickets being sold, and you're not going to want to miss this. Great way to celebrate Lincoln Park turning 100 years. So I hope to see you all there. And with that, I move to adjourn.
So moved.
Councilperson Salcido?
Yes.
Dupre?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Zor?
Yes.
And Mayor Tobin?
Yes.
Thank